So my curse kicked my teeth in this last time, didn't it? I put out my previous Looking Forwards video, and not only did the day it come out see a bunch of big deal reveals, but the day before the video was scheduled to go live, there were already several as well. The video was outdated before anyone saw it, and badly outdated by the end of the day. I'm pretty sure that we now have the record for how fast my curse has ever screwed me over. But hey, it's not like these reveals would have all made it into that previous video just for time's sake, since I don't like these to be like 20 minutes long or something like that. And there's something that I think I need to make clear. I don't focus on the negatives of figures because I'm bitter and full of hate for this stuff. I do it because I love talking about that aspect. I find what went wrong to be more fascinating. If I talk about the good stuff, there's no conversation there. I say it's good and people agree. And maybe you can examine what makes a thing good, but you can only do that so far. If you talk about the bad, you can make suggestions on how to fix it or how to make the bad parts more forgivable by making it cheaper or leaning into some aspect of that. A whole world of conversation and theory crafting opens up about the bad stuff. If I see a movie that I absolutely love, I come out of it only wanting to talk about the few negative qualities that I notice because that's fun and interesting. I do it because I love it, not because I bitterly want to vent, which I realize that I've been doing lately. I have been letting Hasbro's laziness and overcharging turn my negative observations into whining, and that's not what I want to do. I want to talk about the bad because it's so fun, not because I'm pissed off and crying about it. And I want to get back to that. So let's try, in this Hasbro's no shits given era, to have fun with it again. God, this is gonna be so hard because they are just refusing to give me anything to work with here. But first, your likes. And let's just take this in the order of the stuff that kicked my ass. So, the day before the video came out, all these lovely little gems dropped. And I'm already straining so hard to not be a whiny little bitch about it, because Hasbro still doesn't seem to be giving us any real effort here. Because I mean, like, 86 Jazz again? Woo! Like, it's a good figure that's a bit too brittle, so I hope they fixed that part by now. I like it and all, but like, does a flat re-release need a Space Bridge reveal? And also, like, for them to just use a 3-year-old render of the toy? God, it's really been like 3 years already, hasn't it? I can feel my bones turning to dust as we speak. But I mean, like, is there anything to talk about here? It was an okay toy with a bad case of the clear plastics, and they're re-releasing it with fanfare because they have nothing else. Then there's a Studio Series movie Shockwave, who I can't really tell. Is that just the Studio Series 56 again with a more vibrant shade of purple? Because if that's the case, that's incredibly strange, right? Like, the original one was too purple to look accurate in order to look cooler. Now, all this time later, they're making an even more purple version because apparently they didn't think it was interesting looking enough last time. Like, I agree with the aesthetic decision, but I'm still shocked that they didn't just release a super gray looking one to be more accurate to the movie and to be more what fans of this design actually want. Also, is it just me or is his foot totally Slag's head? Then I am sorry to whom all I'm about to make suffer, but there's Gamer Edition Ironhide. And this is mostly just a redeco of the Ratchet that just came out. Man, for months it's basically just been a deluge of re-releases and repaints. They are either saving their budget for something truly amazing, or they are just kind of entering a period where they have given up. And that's not this figure's fault. I'm sure this is fine and that the game design fans are going to love it. But I'm just saying, when 90% of the stuff is either a re-release or a repaint, can you blame me for my interest waning? Especially when the QC has been through the floor of late. Like, does Hasbro have a new factory or what? Why is so much of this stuff so shoddy? The first thing people might actually be excited for is Studio Series Knight Optimus, a figure that was supposed to be made a long time ago, but like Hatchet got put on the back burner till now. I've always hated this design, and I don't get why people say it's one of the hardest that he has, as it's just Optimus in a puffy muscle suit. I'll take his earlier movie designs over this any day of the week. But I know that people have been wanting this for a long time now, so it's good that it's finally getting to see the light of day, though it doesn't really display any effort from Hasbro, as this isn't anything new. Again, even their new stuff is old stuff they just haven't put out yet. Maybe for a rainy day like this, where they don't want to actually work, or probably largely due to the layoffs they've been having over there. Then there's a new Studio Series Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, who I've been told is in the same boat as that Optimus we just talked about. Another figure that they've been sitting on for a long time. I guess with this one, they may not have wanted to piss off the people who bought the original version of the Studio Series figure, as that thing was kind of famously awful to handle, and this does look pretty good, though I do find it hilarious that this is a version more accurate to the design he actually had in the movie. Meanwhile, the box art is of the early concept art that didn't wind up looking much like the final product. So really, the only thing that I think was truly flat out new in these reveals was Wheeljack. And oh great, hell split open and let this thing back out. I'm so happy to see his skinless nightmare face again. What a joy. Who wouldn't be thrilled? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go find some holy water and bleach for my eyes. I just begged them to put the name Q on this thing's box. Please, get this dude's stink off of Wheeljack's name. But hey, at least it's a new thing, the first sighting of recent effort by Hasbro. At least as far as I know. From what I understand, this was not designed like 4 years ago and then put in a dungeon for being too ugly for the world. This doesn't look a ton like his movie model to me, but that could of course just be because it's a lot cleaner. Without so much visual noise, this has an actually distinct silhouette. So hey, I don't like it, but thumbs up, more like this, Hasbro. Then there was Apelink, who I already talked about last time. He was just for real revealed this time. I guess it comes with a red version of the transwarp key, but yeah, I still don't have really anything to say about this because I still don't know if this is just a retooled version of their primal, who I never handled. Real talk, ROTB had some of the worst distribution in Transformers history. There were a trillion Rhinoxes everywhere, and the Tat figures were a cancer upon toy aisles all over that are still there. And then none of the figures anyone was actually looking for, though I contend that mainline Rhinox was an overlooked gem. Then they've finally shown off their first 2 Constructicons and their Devastator, and I feel pretty mixed. Like, these don't look like a huge improvement on the Combiner Wars one, and Neville there is looking pretty husky. Bone Crusher isn't fat, he's just big bone crushed. He has also never looked more like Frankenstein than he does right now. Scrapper looks okay, but I know he's a Voyager, but he looks like a Deluxe. And neither of these have normal wrists. Like, these aren't horrible, and they are new, but man, I do not think Bone Crusher is working. Like, I do not want to have that guy displayed in my collection like that. And the alt mode isn't much different. How do you make a bulldozer look like it needs to lay off the butter? Like, did they just do this wrong? Why is he so big? I'm like 90% sure the arms are parts forming pieces, so it's not like he's storing the fists in there, and Scavenger is way skinnier of a bicep. So is he fat because they fucked up? Like, he's not supposed to look like that in either mode. Scrapper's alt mode may not be perfect, but it's kind of hard to tell with these pictures considering how many accessories they've got stuffed on him. In either case, it looks way better than Bone Crusher, and they both look a lot better in the actual plastic than they do in the renders, though I can't tell if Scrapper is attached to Devastator wrong. It feels like he should be more centered. And I can't say that I was expecting this new Devastator to be about the size of Menasor, who was smaller than Skyfire, so while this does agree with me that Skyfire is bigger than Combiners, this is definitely not replacing some people's Titan-scaled versions of this dude from like a decade ago. Personally, I'm surprised, and I would honestly like a little bigger, but I'm pretty okay with this. I do think it looks pretty cool, though Mixmaster's design seems to be pretty heavily changed, which is really strange for the 86 line, considering it's supposed to be all about the accuracy. And then Bone Crusher just seems like they botched him to whatever extent. Due to him alone, I might just keep the team in Devastator mode 24/7. Also, am I the only one who tends to think that Tool Room Grey prototypes often look a lot cooler than their release versions? By the way, the boxes for these guys are absolutely hideous looking. God, they are lame. But I am so happy to see the return of plastic windows. I was at Walmart just the other day, and I found 3 TF1 Quintessons without their heads. And then there's Leader Class The Fallen. 1. Excellent choice, Hasbro. You picked the correct version of this guy to do, rather than the shit-tacular Power of the Primes version, so this dude looks hella cool. Though I think now that TF1 is out, this guy absolutely has some competition for what the coolest version of Megatronus is. Though I guess this guy is the Fallen, and the other guy can just be Megatronus. 2. I'm just gonna say it. This looks like a heavy retool and upgrade of the Siege version's engineering. Maybe I'm wrong, and this won't reek of that dude when we get this in hand, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he's going to transform almost the exact same way. And I don't think I'll be too mad about that, because let's be real here. This does look sick as shit. Like, even if it's a newer version of that really boring, tired mold at this point, they have done enough to make me go, yeah, I still want this really bad. He looks stupid cool, especially with the fire effects. Hopefully those can stay on during transformation, but I won't hold my breath. Tank mode looks so mean and tough, and his box art fucking rules. Thank you, Hasbro, for once releasing the box art individually so I don't have to try and get a photograph of the box myself to rip that for my thumbnail. Box is still pretty lame looking though. On the side we can see this dude, what I think is Star Convoy, which is weird if he turns out to be a Prime, because, you know, he's both not one and also, you know, Titan scale. What, is there more than 13 Primes now and this is the Prime of Titans? And then a kind of extremely goofily proportioned Liege Maximo. But my biggest problem with what I'm seeing is the shoulder pipe. Hasbro, I swear to God, if this is a pre-tool for 86 Megatron, I'm going to lose it. The Fallen did not have this piece, which flat out confirms that this is going to be at least a semi-G1 inspired Megatron at some point, and this is nowhere near clean enough for the 86 one. We know that you've already made the bad decision to make the 86 Megatron a tank, even though a stationary cannon like Galvatron would make way more sense and allow for a cleaner robot mode. 86 Megatron better not be clogged up with tank kibble and a parts-forming barrel so you can put your revisionist bullshit into the 86 line, when it is not illegal to sell realistic-looking toy guns. And you know how it's super obvious that it's not? Airsoft exists! If this is a non-86 Megatron at some point, then I don't have an issue. Put the retool of this in Legacy, do not put it in 86. I do not want a reason to resent this cool as hell looking figure. Then it looks like Takara is making their own Power Core combiners with Blackjack and hookers. And speaking of hookers, Longrack is there. It's got both Beast and regular Megatron forming into Fire Convoy and maybe Unicron. That might be Scorn, and I don't know who the rest are, but this looks interesting and maybe like a lot of fun, and I look forward to learning more about it. And before we go, let's thank a channel backer. And this time it's Pun, with Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Megatron, the Infinity Changer himself. I've not reviewed this thing yet, but I have it, and it's pretty impressive. It looks great, it poses fantastically, it's just got 2 terrible transformations that are more like torture than a conversion. And its real alt modes both kinda suck. The tank is the better of the 2, but in hand it looks way worse than you expect it to from pictures. IRL, it's just kind of clear that the turret is floating above the treads. The good news is that it's got a trillion joints and you can basically mold it into whatever you want, and even into a gun if you so choose, so it being saddled with 2 bad official modes doesn't quite hinder it from turning into something cool and worth your time. And before we go, it's time for the monthly shoutouts. If you'd like a shoutout yourselves, please just follow the instructions instructions on your screens. And first up, I got kind of an extremely somber one here. Kelvin Goes asked me to share Caitlan's Gofundme to help her with her medical bills as she's treated for cancer. She's 78% of the way to her goal, and maybe my fans can push her to 80. It'd be something at least. I hope we can help out even a little. And full disclosure, this is T-Fan-Page 101's cousin. He didn't ask me to do this, it was Kelvin. Just don't go thinking that I'm only doing this because he's my podcast co-host. Silent One wants me to shout out Pacman Phrog on both Twitter and YouTube. He makes some pretty cool short animations and does a bit of light reviewing as well. And yes, Silent One, I do recognize his animations and you as well. Lord Vader 1977 is really pushing to hit 50 subscribers. He only has 12 more to go. When he does, he wants to start making more long-form content. So let's help him hit that goal so that way he can challenge himself more. King Dareth also has a goal in mind, and that's hitting 200 subscribers. He has a few videos he'd like you to watch, and he's working on a new series called Death Star Bites. Give all that a quick look. Serena is making some stylish-looking art and running an Etsy shop where you can pick up some of her cute little model dinosaurs. So check out her store and her Twitter and Instagram for her art. Iker wants me to shout out Diaclona, who is wrong about her Beast Wars competency tier list. Like, seriously? Tigatron the second most competent, and Primal and Megatron less competent than Airraiser? What are you smoking? Also, how dare with the Waspinator hate? Anyways, Diaclona makes lots of kinds of videos, but mostly shorts like my 1-minute review-a-mans. Give her a look. Well, I can't say that I expected this, but there's another GoFundMe we can help with. Emilio's grandfather just had a stroke and needs help getting rehabilitation therapy. I can't tell if the goal is to get 50,000 pesos or if it's 50k American, but either way, they need help, so if you can lend a hand here too, it's much appreciated. Max wants you to check out his friend Goatee's YouTube channel, where he posts whatever he wants, all his shorts. Check it out if you're interested in some fun content. He also says that once he hits 100 subs, he'll start making long-form videos, so leave a sub while you're there. Bonnie Blacksmith is back and now has 100 subscribers. His next goal is 200 and to try and hit a consistent schedule of 4 videos a month. Check him out for reviews and animations, and reviews with animations. And I hope you had a happy Halloween, dude. It's my favorite holiday too. Oh no. The man whose name I constantly mispronounce is back. And this time, Semyon Ancio, was that right? Wants you to know that Soul Reaver 1 and 2 are getting remastered. I actually had the first game when I was little. Never got past the first level because I used to be a complete bitch who could barely tolerate goosebumps. Now horror is like my second favorite genre. Thanks, Dead Space, for being so good that I couldn't put it down and so pants-shittingly terrifying that you inoculated me to horror. Anyways, Simeon is hoping that if these do well, then they will resurrect the series, since it never had a real conclusion before. He also wants me to tell you the most insane thing anyone has ever asked me to shout out before. He has a 4GB version of the 86 Transformers movie in Finnish on his phone that he will not be sending to anyone. Unless there was a horrible typo in there, I don't understand, but okay. King Kyle this time wants you all to check out Ink Rose's game called Noiramore Accademy, a film noir game about unicorn girls solving mysteries. That sounds like an absolute Mad Libs, but give the Kickstarter a look. Mechgouki wants you to see his video review and let him know if you think that he should continue making videos or if he should just give up. His word, not mine. Please give him your honest opinions and do not mince words. Mr. Longroodle repainted his Legacy Silverbolt, and while I don't much care for the mold, oh yeah, that's a huge improvement. Look how much better the dog face is when it's not being melted off by black paint. Drone Arrow Gaming is currently reviewing fun little air drones and making gaming videos, though eventually he also wants to cover Transformers. If that sounds like an interesting time, give him a look. Snazzy Soundwave is back from a long hiatus and making stop motions, trying to make dumb skits that capture that early YouTube vibe. He's making a show about Prime Soundwave and Vile from Mega Man X being buds. Check him out. Lastly, Lord Skywarp would like you to subscribe to Lord Skywarp, and also Sherlock Productions, as well as he would like you to follow TFHypeGuy on Twitter. Lastly, he wants me to make fun of this stupid size chart, and can do. What the fuck is this idiotic American Godzilla movie bullshit? This has some serious my OC please do not steal energy. I don't know who made this stupid thing, but they need to get dragged through the streets. This can't be real because it's bigger, has to be better brain rot for Transformers 1, a movie where it is inconsequential to make them bigger, and it would make the quintessence like, what, kaiju sized? Get this small penis energy bullshit out of my franchise. Also, like, why would ROTB Prime be smaller than 07 Prime? It's just nonsensical. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.